Hello and welcome to Beyond the Bio, the recap. These recap episodes are short, snappy episodes coming out each Thursday that complement the main show that comes out on Monday. This week I was chatting to Liz Perkins, who is the night news editor at the Daily Express. And if you missed that episode, please go back and listen to it so that this one makes a bit more sense. You will find the link in the show notes to Monday's episode. So, what did we talk about? Well, Liz is just such a brilliantly interesting and inspirational woman. And as you will have picked up from that episode, I actually met Liz at a networking event in London a few weeks ago. I was speaking at the event in Knightsbridge. Liz was there as a guest of one of the other speakers, and she came and collared me after the event, and we had a really great chat and have spoken several times since then. So Liz has got so much experience. She's worked across the national press from the Daily Telegraph through to the Sunday Times, currently the night news editor of the Daily Express. She's done some really interesting things alongside her journalism career. She's been elected chapter leader of the Oxford Business Alumni Network for the London chapter, and that has led to her organising all sorts of events at Blenheim Palace and the Houses of Parliament. She's also a member of European Women on Boards and Women in Journalism. So brilliant person to have on the show to chat about all sorts of things. And what I really enjoyed about talking to Liz was getting to hear some of those stories of things that she's been involved in. So she talked to us about Afghanistan, her experiences there, and then also some of the more light-hearted experience she's had, such as meeting Brad Pitt and some other celebrities. So she really has seen it all. And I think what I pick up from Liz is that she sees opportunities and she follows her nose and she goes where she needs to go to get the story. It's also really interesting hearing her talk about the way that you should approach journalists, thinking about whether you should give them an exclusive story and the benefits of that, and thinking about the fact that when you get a story in the national press these days, it's not just in a newspaper that you go to the shop to buy. It can be online, it can be through the publication's social media. So your story might fall into all sorts of different hands and phones by different measures, so different methods even. And that is really useful to keep in mind, because I think it gives the stories a bit longer shelf life. So some other things that I picked up from the episode were that the press release isn't dead. It just needs to be very succinct, contain all the relevant information so the journalist doesn't have to go chasing, and be accompanied by a great pitch, a great story in the accompanying email. Liz spoke about how people are more interesting than businesses, which was music to my ears because that is what we talk about all the time at Moja. So while you might be interested in the results that your company or organisation produces, there's got to be a bit more to it. There's got to be a bit more of a story, and individuals are often the story. So that was a really useful takeaway for me. The other thing that we spoke about was how you should chase or not chase up a journalist, and the message that was coming through loud and clear from Liz was that it's okay to politely follow up, but sending 10 messages when you've heard nothing back is probably not going to get you any results. So no pestering. And Liz is so nice that she wouldn't send you a stroppy email back. She will just ghost you. So one follow-up, I think, is probably the way to go. So these episodes are all about taking action. And my take action for this week is going to be to pitch a journalist. Maybe that will be Liz. She did offer that. Or maybe it's going to be some local press, or maybe a different publication. So just considering the points that Liz made in that episode, the first step was to identify a relevant publication that is relevant to your story and is more likely to cover it. So she spoke about certain papers standing for different things politically or having certain interests that they're more likely to publish. So starting point is to identify which publication you want to be in and think about the reasons why, because often we want the status, the kudos of being in the national press. But if our audience aren't hanging out reading those papers, so what? It's just going to be an ego boost. Yes, it might be a nice logo to pop on your website or on your socials or whatever, but it does need to lead to something, and it needs to be relevant to them and to you as well. So definitely do a bit of research into thinking about where does your ideal audience hang out and where is a great place for you to be seen. And then think about what your story is. And you might not have one right now. You might need to be patient and you might need to do a load of activities that create a story in the future. But once you have that story and you have that publication in mind, then that's the time to take this action and pitch to them. So in the meantime, if you've not got a story, it might be that you identify the publication and you find the journalist contact details. So Liz hangs out on LinkedIn, but she and lots of other journalists hang out on Twitter, or /X as it is called now. So it's easy to find these people's details. If you read a particular magazine or a newspaper, you can often find the journalists that are covering your particular topic. So that's an easy way to get their details as well. So identify the publication, find the journalist contact details, and then when you have a story to tell, pitch it to them. So a brief but compelling intro email accompanied by a press release that covers all the key facts and figures and story within that, and send that off. And, if you don't succeed straight away, then try again. Have a hit list of maybe 5 publications or 5 people that you could get in touch with, and you go after them all. Either go after them one by one and wait until you've heard back or not heard back for a suitable time, and then go to the next one, or go for them all at the same time. But do remember to tailor your message. So I hope this has been useful. I thought it was a brilliant episode on Monday. And as always, I would love to hear what action you're going to take and how you get on. See you on Monday.